Hey, good morning, y'all. Tom Taylor here, uh, Seyco. Um, People just call me Seyco Tom. At least that's what the locals call me. Uh, just want to do a short video this morning on these Seyco drills. I hear a lot of feedback about these, and people think that they are too slow. They're not fast enough. Again, keep in mind these are DC powered, converted from this box from AC to DC, so it has low end torque for your bits, not speed. I do have a, I know Shaylee asked me to get my plunge router out. I actually can't find it. I think I may have given it away because I had a Dremel plunge router and it worked fine for a couple years, but I burned up bits like crazy even on the lowest RPMs. So um, once I had a chance to use one of these out at the Midwest Scroll Saw Show, which is a different version. If you can remember, if you've had one before, you'll notice the motor hangs right here. And over time, those things would work out a 90-degree square. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, is how to keep these things maintained so that they constantly keep drilling our whole 90 degrees. Because if you use them a lot, like I do, they're eventually going to have some wear and they're going to need some adjustments. So I've taken this apart. This piece, I don't want to break my bit. I think that's a number 70 bit in there. Then I've taken the spring off. And then I'll show you what I do while I've got some sleeves up here in a minute. But as I constantly use this thing in the same cycle area of going up and down in this little groove right here, it's extremely hard to see. But you may be able to see that I've worn a groove with a lip on the edge of that from running it in the same spot. Then what will happen is they will catch up on that aluminum where you've kind of created a burr from going up and down. All you gotta do is take that bad boy apart every once in a while. Take some super fine sandpaper. I think this is like, I don't know, 120 grit or maybe 100. Doesn't need to be much. Just knock those little burrs off of that leading edge where it glides up and down on the piece that's on the other piece. Don't do too much, just enough to knock the burr off. And once you can't see it or feel it anymore, it should be ready to go. There's still a little bit left on there. I'm not knock that off just a tad more. And now it looks like it's gone. Now that I've got that off of there, before I put these back together, and today is actually saw maintenance day. I'm going to tear the Seyco apart today and give it its 200,000 hole. That's an exaggeration, but going to give it its maintenance on the bearings and stuff. And you just take them out, check them out, clean them up, repack them with some high temp grease. That way I know my saw's good to go for another couple thousand holes or more. I do have one of the original Seyco saws. I flew to Texas to test it out. That's where I actually met Ray for the first time at Seyco. Let me play on one down there all day, which was cool enough. Was one of the determining factors as to why I went with Seyco versus all the other saws. Now they cleaned that up. Just going to take a little bit of air lube, put it on there. Not much. Don't want that stuff getting on my cut as I'm drilling holes. Then put it back together. Spring on. Then I've loosened up the set screw here, which what keeps it in that groove to slide up and down. And getting that just right is critical. I'm going to put a little bit of lube on the inside of that. Kind of slosh it around with my finger a little bit. And you can see all the stuff I'm wearing on that aluminum sleeve. Going up and down thousands of times is in there. You can see it on the rag here. So I want to clean that up pretty good. Make sure it looks good to go. Clean that grease off my fingers because I don't want to get that on my cut here in a little bit. Reassemble, which is really, really easy. And now you'll see it slides up and down nice and smooth once again. Then I want to come back in with my Allen wrench. Make sure that I set that in that groove to where it's tight, but not so tight I can't move it up and down. The tighter we can keep that tolerance right there. And I apologize for always clearing my throat. This kind of weather. But what I'm looking for is make sure it doesn't have any side to side. Then that lets me know that I've kind of got it where I want it. You see, I just turn a little bit. Now it won't move. Back it off just a hair. And you'll notice it slides up and down. Nice and easy and smooth again. Just like it was when it's brand new. A couple other little tricks with these guys. And I didn't come up with this. It's basically Mr. Jim Bloom showed me this a long time ago. I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago. You can take the cap off, which sits on top of the drill. You can take it off and actually turn it upside down and put it back on. Drop the screw. And what that'll do is that'll keep the drill down that far instead of coming all the way up like this. Now, I know that may not sound like a whole lot, but when you do the type of cutting that I prefer to do, if I can take that much stroke out of that sleeve, which is about a little over an inch, that's an inch less I got to push down on this shaft to get to the wood. I like to be able to just jump over the hole, zoom, jump over the hole, and zoom, and be done. The only disadvantage by turning that around, this little foam piece was actually designed to put back in the top of that and keep your chucks handy. Your chuck keys, I should say, for your chucks. I don't use that one much. I got that one from Seyco. Again, it just works a lot better for me. If I don't want to turn that cap around, I've just taken a couple of zip ties that are the same size as that shaft, and I'll slide those bad boys on there. And I'll get one on. Well, I got them tight. I'll get the one on there. And I'll check another one. Slap it on. And you can see between the two of those zip ties, you can use whatever you want. Muffler clamps. I mean, I've used all kinds of stuff. I used to have, 15 or 20 of these drills with the scroll saw shop. But you can see how much space that takes up now. Then I put my cap back on, and I've achieved the same thing. Now when I go to drill, my drill bit's maybe 1/8 of an inch off my work surface at all the time, as long as I set my drill bit in there correctly. And then when I go to drill, and you can see that I've already done that with this one. I use a nice pink zip tie. That's for Russ Beard because he likes pink. Don't tell him I said that. But again, my bit now, I can see a little bit of slop in there. That one needs adjusted too. Shouldn't turn left or right. But now you can see how close I am to my work surface. And just drill. Again, these aren't for speed, they're for power. That little bit has probably drilled, I don't know, close to 1,000 holes this last week. Still the same bit. In my opinion, a Dremel just turns too high RPMs, but will work if you don't want to spend the money on one of these guys. I don't even know what they're charging for this now. I think I paid 100 some bucks for it, something like that. But anyway, this will allow you to keep these things running perfectly 90 degrees. You see how that's got a little bit of movement from side to side. I need to do the same thing here, adjust it, and then it'll be good to go for another thousands of holes. And that'll keep these things running perfectly 90 degrees for you. But they are going to need a little bit of maintenance over time, which isn't much. You can see how little time that took. So, if you're interested in a scroller's drill, Mike and Ray there at Seyco, and also Shaylee's working with them. I have a little bit of communication with Ray these days, not too much anymore. Until it gets close to like maybe we might do a show if I can go or something like that. But we haven't talked about that lately. But anyway, give them a buzz. Give these a try. I think for those of you who do a lot of interior work, and I don't know where my stuff's at that I need to cut, but like this little guy, just getting out here in the middle when these things are bigger. Obviously, you can't get into the middle with a drill press. And then a plunge router. Again, nothing wrong with it. High RPMs. Then we're using these little bits like number 70s and even a 72, which is small. I tried 80s. You can't even get a blade in an 80 hole. That was a dumb move on my part, but they were free from QTE to give them a try. Richard Bull, QTE North America. It's where I buy my Pegasus bits and my blades from. And if I need clamps, as much as I love my Seyco saw, I do like my Pegasus clamps. I've got an original set on there. It's 4 years old. Back before QTE even sold them. I'm using the same clamp, same thumb screw. Again, a little bit of maintenance on those. And we can do another little video on how to maintain those. But again, getting out in the middle of these cuts, unless you have something that can get out in the middle to drill those, it's going to be tough to keep them drilled at 90 degrees. Some of my holes in the project I'm cutting right now, they are literally within a 1/16 of each other through there. And there's thousands of them in this one here. If I don't have something that's perfectly 90, it's going to go at a slight angle. It's going to blow into the other hole that I previously drilled, which obviously ruins the area that I just wanted to cut. And if you know my work, again, I'm not somebody who glues a piece back in if I break it out. A lot of my stuff I prepare in case it's going to a show. They will see that broken piece at a show, I promise you. So getting these things as perfectly 90 degrees as I can and not breaking anything is my ultimate goal when I'm using the scroller drill. So again, www.seyco.com, scroll saw specialist. Talk to Mike. Myself and Shaylee and many other people can answer questions about these guys. But this is their purpose. Again, torque, not speed. And to keep it maintained, they're a perfectly great little drill. It's extremely cold here in Ohio. We got about 5 inches of snow outside and about 10 inches of snow on top of that. So it's a good day to hunker down in the shop. And I've got a piece that I'm working on that I'll grab real quick. Get it off my saw over here. Sorry about that. But this is a Charles Deering pattern. Obviously, I left his name here. And if you can see that up close, I'm using 3/0s and 3/0 flats and spirals. And the 3/0s are actually too big. So I've just kind of done my best to create what I could in this face because there isn't enough room to draw the smallest bit. But these are the kind of holes that I'm talking about. They're going to be side by side in some of these cuts, and then one I can't get out in the middle with a drill press. Obviously this is small. I shrunk it down from original size. The original size is like 11 by 17. This is shrunk by 85%. This cat's going to go in the background of what we call my epic cut. We'll see if it's epic or not. It'll either be an epic fire pit, designer firewood. But you can look here on the back, see all of those little holes that I've drilled. Those are with number 70s and 72s. Again, I've got to keep those things. Again, they're hard to see, but they're right there. I've got to keep those things as 90 degrees as I can, or I'll blow into the next area I want to cut. And that's what that drill allows you to do. Again, it's not that a Dremel won't. In my opinion, they just burn up too quick and I go through too many bits. So there's a little tip on drilling, what the scroll saw drill is all about. The one from Seyco. How to maintain it a little bit. Then how to reduce that extra stroke in there that I don't need. Once again, I got that extra stroke there, which is 3/4 of an inch to an inch, that I don't need to push down. And the closer I can keep that to my work surface, the better it's going to stay at 90 degrees. And I'm done. Move to the next hole. Done. Next hole. Done. Next hole. Done. And always make sure you have a backer board. something that's waste to drill into, so the bit don't blow out the back of your, say, Baltic birch or whatever you're drilling. And make sure it's soft, and then stay away from knots if you're using pine. And then those bits will last you for a very long time. So I'm hoping to make a lot of progress on this today. It's taken me 3 days to get through here. I don't know how many hours. I didn't track. I'm trying to get through the feet here, which is a lot of small holes. Then once I get into these bigger areas, I can kind of boogie along pretty good, probably 2 to 3 hours in here. Then hopefully that one will be done. So hope you all have a great Sunday. Shayla, I hope this helps on the screen, either on the newbie page or the scroll saw for Seyco page. I'll try to do these whenever I can. If anybody ever has any suggestions on anything as a newbie or anything Seyco related that I know, I will give you my feedback and my opinion. And once again, I can't thank Ray and Mike enough down there for supporting what I do here at the shop and the customer service, excuse me, associated with buying their products from them. And then Richard Bull out there at QTE North America. Anything I need Pegasus related, I go to him. Obviously, I could go to Bear Woods, but Bear Woods being in Canada, it's just a little bit slower to get the product. But those guys are great at Bear Woods too. So there you go. There you have it. Y'all have a great day.